Hey, what's going on, everybody? I'm back. Couldn't upload videos for a couple of weeks. Had some health issues, but currently on the mend and I'm doing a lot better. Today, I'm going to give my first impressions for the Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra in 2024. Now, everybody knows this is a 2023 device, and the S24 Ultra is about to come out in a couple of weeks. But last year, which was just a week ago, I decided I really wanted to check this phone out because even though I love the Note 20 Ultra, which I do, but the battery life is just so bad on this phone. I mean, for me, it's just terrible. It really is, and it's just unfortunate because I really love the device. And what I kept hearing about this device is that the battery life is just so much better. So I said, well, let me get it. Let me check it out for myself and see. So just quickly, and I'm going to try to make this quick. My first impressions of this device is I'm definitely impressed. Seriously. Now, if you're thinking about upgrading from the Note 20 to this, or maybe from the Note 10 Plus, it's definitely worth the upgrade, honestly. I mean, if you're coming from the Note 20 Ultra, that's a 3-year upgrade. So that's a real upgrade. That's not an incremental upgrade like Samsung normally does. They just make very, very small, subtle changes with their newer devices. But if you're coming from a Note 20 Ultra, it's definitely worth the upgrade. If not because of the battery life alone, it's definitely worth the upgrade. That's if you're getting poor battery life from this device like I am. Everybody doesn't use their phone the same. I max everything, so my battery usage is going to be different from yours. But so far, I've had this now for a few weeks. I'm definitely impressed. This is not my full review because I haven't taken any photos or videos with this device at all because, like I said, I've been sick. But just based on the battery life and the performance, I've been impressed with this device, no doubt. But let's go over the specs real quick, and I'm sure most of you probably already know, but I'm just going to do it really quick. All right. Now, the retail price when this came out, $1,200. I still think that's too expensive. It is what it is, though. Now, you get face unlock, of course, always on display, dual stereo speakers, IP68 water and dust resistance. And if I sound a little funny with my voice, please excuse me because I'm still, like I said, still trying to recover from a health issue. So bear with me. Now, with the display is actually just a slightly smaller than that of the Note 20 Ultra. Now, this has a 6.9, this is 6.8. But if you really look at these right now, you can clearly see that the S23 Ultra is a larger device. It has a bigger footprint. You can see it. I mean, it's not taller because the Note 20 Ultra is maybe a half an inch taller or an inch taller. But this is a wider, bigger device, and it's actually a thicker device too, which I love. And like I said, I always use cases because I can handle the phone better with a case. But the way that they squared off the sides, it makes it so much easier to hold this if you're a person that don't like cases. The way they squared this off, it's not like this where it's just kind of sharp, but they squared it off on the side where it's much, much easier to hold this without a case, honestly. And the build quality on this is excellent. It really is. Now, when it comes to design, I still like this Note 20 Ultra design, but this design is growing on me for sure. Definitely growing on me for sure. And you can see that you're getting more cameras, and getting bigger cameras. So, the bigger the camera, the more light it lets into the sensor. But I still love the Note 20 Ultra design, but this design is definitely growing on me. But the S23 Ultra is definitely a bigger device. So the 6.8-inch Quad HD dynamic AMOLED display, HDR10 plus, 120 Hz refresh rate, 1200 nits peak brightness, 1750 nits I'm sorry, 1200 nits brightness. Okay, that's regular brightness. 1750 nits peak brightness. Okay, and 500 pixel density. So the display is absolutely beautiful. No question about it. It's beautiful. Okay, now what you do have, I want to show you really quick. When it comes to the display, you can make the display even brighter. See this right here? It says extra brightness. Now, we'll use up more battery, but you can actually make this even brighter. And I'm telling you, when I say brighter, I mean brighter. I mean brighter to the point where I had to turn it back down because it was almost a little too bright for me. But you can really max this thing out. But don't forget, your battery life will take a hit. Now, I still plan on testing this. I want to run the extra brightness for a full day and see how much battery life I get. By the time I do my full review, which will be in a couple weeks, I'm going to use extra brightness for a whole day, and I want to see how the battery holds up. For those of you that like your phone super bright like I do, just want to see. But the display is absolutely beautiful. No question about that. Now, of course, you got 45-watt fast wired charging, which is a disappointment because it should be faster. 15-watt wireless charging, 4.5-watt reverse wireless charging. I'll get into all that when my review. You already know how I feel about these charging speeds, those of you that watch my channel. Of course, you got the ultrasonic fingerprint sensor. Now, I can already tell you, it's worlds better than the Note 20 Ultra. This fingerprint sensor is really, really good. Like, seriously. It's like night and day. All right, Bluetooth S Pen, 8 gigs of RAM. Then that's kind of a disappointment because this came standard with 12 gigs. Also, the Note 10 Plus, 12 gigs standard. The S21, 12 gigs standard. The S22, 12 gigs standard. Why would you take away 4 gigs and you still charging me $1,200? See, this is what makes me mad about Samsung. They take one step forward and take another step back. Like, what are you doing? $1,200. Why are you taking away gigs? It should be 12. If anything, okay, go from 12, 16, then maybe to 18 or something like that. But there's no way this should be starting out with no 8 gigs of RAM. No. Okay? I don't like that. 256 gigs of storage, which is what this should have had, but it didn't. It is what it is. That's fine. But remember, expandable storage, you lose that on the S23. I would make this suggestion if you're a storage monster like me, get the 512 gig variant. Then you'll be fine. Okay? 256 was probably going to be good for most people. But at least it starts at 256, not 128 like this one, was. All right, Snapdragon Generation 2. So I can already tell you this Snapdragon Generation 2 chip is very, very efficient. It really is. Gorilla Glass Victus 2 on the front and back. You got an Armor aluminum frame, which is supposed to be more drop resistant. You get more drop protection, and you get more scratch resistance. This is running currently One UI 6.0, which I think it just got updated maybe a week ago or so. So you're on the newest One UI, which has, a whole lot of, extra features added in, like Samsung always does. And of course, it's running Android 14, and it's upgradable to Android 17, and 5 years of security patches. That's going to be important to a lot of people. Not the most important thing to me, but for some out there that are real techies, you heavy in the tech game, and it's all about security and having your phone updated, you're going to be good with this one. 5,000 milliamp hour battery, Samsung DeX. And with the cameras, of course, this is supposed to be one of the main things of this device. Got a 200 megapixel wide laser autofocus, optical image stabilization, 10 megapixel periscope telephoto, dual pixel optical image stabilization, and 10 times optical zoom. You're also getting a 10 megapixel telephoto dual pixel with optical image stabilization, 3 times optical zoom. And you're also getting a 12 megapixel ultra wide dual pixel super steady video. Now, this phone shoots 8K 30 frames per second as opposed to 24. Now, it can still shoot at 24, but more than likely you're not going to shoot in 24 frames per second when 30 is going to be a lot more stable. So it's good that they, upped that to 30 frames per second. 4K at 60 and 1080p at 60. And on the selfie camera up front, you're getting a 12 megapixel wide dual pixel, shoots video at 4K at 60 frames per second and 1080p at 60 frames per second. So these are all the, the things that, come on this phone. Now, the things that are missing for me: no expandable storage, no headphone jack, no IR blaster, no Dolby Vision for the display, which other phones do have now, no case in the box, no charger in the box, no headphones or dongle in the box. And now, for the first time this year, Samsung, like I said, one step forward, two steps back. No pre-installed screen protector. Now, that's something they used to put on all their phones. Now they don't even do that. So no pre-installed screen protector. You'll have to put your own on if you're in the screen protectors. I don't use screen protectors. And this phone is not as curved as my Note 20. This is a lot more curved. So it's just a very subtle curve. So it shouldn't be too bad to put a screen protector on this for those of you that, that's just what you do. But let me say this, and I'm going to be finished. Like I said, I am impressed with this phone, performance, battery life, the display, and the fact that it's just a bigger device. Oh, and also the speakers on here are killing these speakers. And I think these speakers are decent, but these speakers are on another level right here. They're not the best speakers I have with all the phones I have, no. But they are definitely night and day from the Note 20 Ultra. Seriously. So, like I said, I have yet to touch the camera. I got to do that. And like I said, I'm still using it day to day. I'm using it like I normally use my phone, moderate to heavy. But I will say about the battery life. The battery life on this thing reminds me of the Note 4 when it first came out. For those of y'all that, go back a little ways when it comes to Note devices, when the Note 4 came out, I was getting 2 days easily on that phone. And I'm talking heavy usage. 2 days easily. I mean, it took me 2 days to kill that battery on that phone. And then they updated it to Android. I can't remember what version of Android they updated it to. But as soon as they updated it to whatever Android it was, it absolutely destroyed the battery life. I could barely get through a day. And I remember that. It's clear as day. Because I love the Note 4. But as soon as they did that Android update, or either Samsung did their update or whatever, the battery life on that phone was completely destroyed. Could never recover. So this gives me vibes of that battery. Now, this is not 2 full days, at least not for me. Right now, I can probably get it a day and a half. And that's saying a lot for a phone that I couldn't even get through a full day, barely. I mean, I'd really have to be somewhat conservative with this device to get through a full day. I mean, I just couldn't be on it as much because the battery just drained so fast, and it would drain whether I had the phone, whether I was using the phone or not. I got this on max brightness, always on display, max brightness, everything max. And the standby time is crazy. I mean, compared to this would start, I would take this off the charger 100%. In like less than 5 minutes, I'd be at 99%. And that's with me not even using the phone. So it's night and day when it comes to battery life. Night and day. So my first impressions is I am impressed. Samsung did a great job on this phone. They improved the display. I don't know how they keep making the display better, but they improved the display on this phone too. So, and it's nice to be able to use Quad HD resolution along with 120 hertz, which is something you could not do with the Note 20 Ultra. You had to use 1080p, which 1080p for the most part was fine. You get used to it. But I mean, it's the Ultra. I mean, it made no sense when they capped this, capped 120 hertz to 1080p. That was just a stupid move by Samsung. But at least with this, Quad HD plus 120 hertz, that's the way it should have been from the beginning. All right, so thank you all for taking the time to view this content. I do appreciate it. Hope everybody's staying safe, staying well, and I'll check you guys out in the next one. Peace.